So you started this interview saying that you have been in the video conferencing industry, which is probably, from your perspective, boomed since the pandemic. Tell me a little bit more about Neat. Why did you join it? And tell me about the team
Yeah,
and what you guys are working on.
yeah, I had at that time been in Cisco for 15 years, and I was having fun in Cisco and really enjoying what I was doing. Had various roles and I was really happy with the team that I was working with. It was really fun. I learned a lot. I loved the culture, but at the same time, I was thinking I could be here 15 more years, be happy with that. But I also want to learn other things. I want to experience another culture and this type of opportunity where I could go work in the video conferencing industry, but in a different setting, in a startup setting, together with other people that I have worked with previously in Cisco that are really solid, both good engineers, but also really good leaders in it as well. So that's my thought process was you only live one, and I wanted to experience more. So that was the main reasons why I joined Neat. And also since I saw what they were doing were very exciting. It was a little different twist than in Cisco. So yeah, so multiple reasons for that. And then, and also I was really honored that they wanted me as head of products, of course. That someone believed in me to take that on was such a big compliment that I could almost work for free, I think. So I was really excited by that. And then I joined Neat and have been, what has also been exciting is in Neat, I've been working even closer with sales and marketing and other functions. So we got to learn more about the business as a whole, which has been also very, very exciting to learn that part. And also going much more hands-on again. First weeks in Neat, I was to learn the products I was testing, or going through out-of-box experience over and over, different software versions to make sure that when we did new release, that everything was working. And it was a really good way of learning the products and getting close to what Neat does. So and that was also the fun part, I think, having multiple hats. Right? In Cisco, everything is very structured. Going into a startup, everyone has multiple hats and you work broader, which also triggers more learning and a different culture. I think every company, even though it's similar, has other mindsets and in a good way. It's not one place was better or worse. It's different.
Yeah, it's the ability to have a more direct impact on the business. I think one thing that I did recently was learn how to read a P&L and a balance sheet so that I could understand like, oh, why can't we do this feature? Oh, it probably is going to cost a lot in cloud computing. This is how much cash we have on hand. And then
Yep.
understanding that a P&L, everything on a profit loss or an income statement is just a percentage of revenue. And who's mostly involved in getting revenue? It's the sales org. And in a lot of companies, sales is the most neglected aspect of a business, like the actual revenue organization that feeds the
Yeah.
whole P&L, pays everyone else, brings in the money so that we don't have to do layoffs and everything like that. That understanding that is like another dimension. Just imagine if more product leaders knew how to follow the money and understand just the core business and understand, hey, how are we selling it? Like how are we presenting it to the customers? For all the way down to the details on QA testing and making sure that you pull it out of the box and you do the tedious, mundane work of making sure that it works and that it's fast enough and everything like that. That that detail orientedness, like I've only met a couple product leaders that have that level of detail in their work.
Mhm.
When it happens, it's fantastic, but I just don't see it that often.
I think it's really benefit of being really hands-on. And we see that in the design team in particular, right? They have the ability to go really into every little detail of how everything from the considerations of uh, which buttons where and the flow and kind of optimizing the out-of-box experience For instance, we're really proud of how easy it is to set up our products. And when we do our out-of-box experience, we say that we're never done with it. We continue to iterate, right? And just recently we added so that we automatically detect which time zone someone is in, right? So you can easier click through instead of scrolling. Just those smaller things that makes the experience even less, removes the friction from the experience. And then the ability for the designers, we've been talking about that recently, where they both go into the details, but they're also really good at seeing the high level picture, right? The understanding the vision and the story that we're telling and uplifting that to the different layers, right? Whether it's from, okay, we see that these business needs, this is why we exist. And these are our vision pillars in terms of kind of the bigger lines that we're working towards. And then from there going into, okay, to get there, we need to make sure that we have these, we optimize here and here for the users or for the administrator.
I know a lot of product leaders that I've met have a hard time giving that level of control and depth to the design team. They might not come from a design background. They might come from business administration background. It just sounds like you hold your designers in a really high regard.
High regards for them and also the other engineers. I think you have to. You have to, as a leader, not accept that you are not in control. You have an amazing team, and it's about being and believing, truly believing in the value and the competency in the team, right? And then rather facilitate. I feel some of my core role is to facilitate conversation so that people hear from each other, that I notice, oh, now this person needs to talk to this person to get the insight they need, right? So, for instance, since we are very design driven, I think it's important that the people in the design team are also meeting regularly with people in sales, for instance, or customers. One is that the designers are both part of presenting and conveying how we are design driven, focused on going wild. That also builds trust with our customers. But also the other way, that when they are part of these customer conversations, they hear directly from the customer the problems that they have and what value we can provide to them. And then, so my role is then more to facilitate and make sure that that happens. Because when that happens, the designers have the insight that they need to kind of deeply understand the problems and the value that we can provide.